Hello, I'm Karen Brooks. I'm the director of the CGIAR Research Program on Policies, Institutions, and Markets, as we call it, PIM for short. And I'm really pleased to welcome you to our first quarterly newsletter of the second phase of the program. What is it that we're going to do in phase two? I think we have to recognize that agricultural research is a long-term activity. Takes much from the legacy of what has happened in the past and then has to look very far into the future. So we have a lot of continuity in what we're doing, and our movement into phase two has a lot of continuity with what we did in phase one. If we go through each of the subject areas where we have exciting work that we're drawing on from the first phase, we could start with our work on foresight modeling, where we have really exciting understanding of what some of the new technologies are and what some of the applications are and what the scenarios are that we have to start building for in the future. Those tools have matured enough that we can now use them to ask and start answering questions about what are some of the key challenges and what are the trade-offs that we face in looking at the goals for the Sustainable Development Goals, what is the role of agriculture in contributing to those, and how much can agricultural research contribute and how much will have to come from other sources. If we look at our work on rural transformation, very important questions about what's happening in rural areas, what does it mean to be predominantly agricultural in the 21st century, but transitioning to a more diversified economy in the process of development. When we look at our work on trade and value chains, we did really interesting work on developing the methods for measuring post-harvest losses, improving those measures, and now we can look at, now that we have a better quantitative understanding of what some of the losses are, where do they enter into the system and what are some of the remedial measures that can be undertaken. Certainly there's a lot of interest in trade. We did a lot of work in trade in the past, and now with the rise in protectionism and the questions about trade relations in regions, globally, across borders, our work in trade is very topical and very much in demand. We'll be continuing that as well. Social protection, there's a tremendous need for instruments of social protection. We see crises in many parts of the world and vulnerable populations that need support. So the work that we've done in understanding what are some instruments for delivering social protection, how can social protection work together with investments in growth, particularly agricultural growth. We'll be working on that. Our work on natural resource management, issues of land tenure, forestry, management of forests, water, issues of water scarcity. Those are very important. We tend to look at the tenure and the policy issues related to those, and in that we work closely with our colleagues within the CG system who work in the other areas. And throughout our whole portfolio in the first phase, we had a significant focus on gender, and we're continuing that into the second. We have a few changes to our structure. We have introduced a specific flagship, which we call Flagship 6, which is focusing on gender, and we have done that to give increased prominence to the gender work that we already had in our portfolio in the past, but also to make space for our role in hosting the CGIAR Collaborative Platform for Gender Research. We're very pleased to take that on. We take it on with great responsibility and great understanding that it's important for the system, and we're determined to do a good job on that, to work closely with the other CRPs and to work with our partners, Royal Tropical Institute in the Netherlands, that will be serving as the coordination function for the collaborative platform. We'll be focusing our attention on geography. We continue to have a major focus on Africa, south of the Sahara, South Asia, on the agriculturally dependent areas of East Asia and some in the Caribbean, a bit in Latin America. We'll continue that. We remain a global program and we have activities across the globe, but we will be concentrating our geographic range a bit more to work closely with other CGIAR programs that are active in a more limited set of countries. We'll be working more closely with the other CRPs. We're in the early stages of trying to understand a model of co-investment where we each agree that we'll put resources toward a common goal, and then we work together to have a shared output. And we have done some of that, of course, in the past, but we'll be doing more of that in the future. We're also working to strengthen and to focus our messaging so that In each of these areas where we have important ongoing work and we're undertaking new initiatives, we make it very clear why we're doing this. What are the questions that we're trying to resolve? And how can we use our results in order to achieve impact? As always with our newsletter, we have a lot of additional information and detail in the newsletter or in the website. So I would encourage you and thank you for following up and looking to those sources for additional information. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy reading the newsletter.